Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here of Morbid Team Entertainment. Going out to film a little bit today on my experimental horror film, and at the same time teach some special effects for horror, gore, and some tips and tricks on filming experimental and low budget, including filming experimental and low budget. My choice of format is single 8. I use a Fujica Z800 and ZC1000. Now this is some R200 I'm just pulling out of my camera, and I do a lot of switching out of film, and it's okay because the only part that's going to be exposed is here, this little strip. All right, and it gives a nice orange, you know, kind of flare and burn, you know, after processing and viewing, and it looks really kind of cool. I have some new old stock of Fujichrome R25, and this one's completely full and new old stock due to the arrow pointing right that way and straight to go. Okay, that arrow means, and even when you open up a new pack of old stock, that arrow like that means that the film is new and it has not been used. It has not been filmed with. It has not been exposed. So, into my Z800, the R25 goes. Just like so. Right there, closing it up, and we get ready to film. Alright, now I'm going to perform a bit of a film test right here and make sure that the cartridge is rotating properly, moving along through the camera. Alright, got everything in place right there. Run. That should do it. And I've got it on the exposure on manual. This is a feature that I love. On the ZC1000, the manual exposure right there. You can just simply take that and rotate it back and forth. It's a great feature. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. And yes, as you can see, there's no arrow. It means it rotated. The film is operating in the cartridge properly. All right. So we're going to put this back in here, and we are ready to go outside and film. Okay, this is a new cartridge of film, so I'm going to show my slate right here. This is a series. Since it's experimental film, it's just a series of shots. I've got the clamp open because it means it's silent. Okay, and I've got my Z800 Fujica listed right there because that's the camera I'm using, including the ISO of film, R25, that original Fujichrome. Alright? So next, I just want to turn the camera on run. Okay? This is what I want to do. I'm going to go and check my frames per second, which I've got it set at 18. I'm just going to be filming a gore shot. It's going to be still and not moving, or not moving that much at all. Alright, next, my exposure right here. This is one thing I love about the Z800. You just simply pull this out just like that, and I can rotate it and adjust inside the camera the exposure. Now, when you're filming experimental or low-budget films, being essentially the same thing, if you're using talent, in this which case I am, you know, talent has a job and families, as most of us do, okay? So what you can do is this. Let's say I'm filming a scene where she has a Gore prosthetic hooked up to her, which that's going to happen, okay? Well, how do you get around the time frame of using the talent, okay, and then setting up the effect? Now, some people, depending on what type of effect, your Gore effect you set up on there, some people are allergic to liquid latex, okay? So that you have to test out. You don't want them going to the ER, okay? And being responsible for that, needing insurance. So what you want to do is this. You can film the talent lying in any type of position, pan from one end of their body to the other before you get to the Gore scene, and perform a fade out, okay? Once you get to the fade out, you've got the Gore scene set up. So let's say the Gore scene is when the talent walks into the front door and gets cut by the door, and there's the cut right there, okay? Well, then, you know, where they're lying and they get cut, or whatever the situation may be, by a perpetrator, okay? From where you left off, okay, from the dissolve, the fade out, start back up closer and come into that shot right there, and come into the Gore scene, and then just fix up on it, okay? And then after you fixed up on it for a little while, give it some time. Don't give us this modern day half a second shot. Give it a 1970s, early 1980s Gore timing right there, so everyone can see it and see what's going on. And then you can either just turn the lens to a blur, which is a great effect, and that way works out just fine. And if you're not familiar with the Z800, you just flip this out and you can create your dissolves by spinning this and rolling back the film. This is for single 8. Now if you've got a camera like a Bolex, you can do that as well. Always make sure you label your film cartridges for what movie you're making. It's going to help you out, especially if you're going to be filming multiple stuff. When I'm not using these, I take them out. Yeah, this part right here is going to be exposed, as I said before, but only that part right there. But it's going to give a beautiful, you know, flare effect, so don't worry about it. You know, it's going to add. You're making experimental films like I'm doing, it's going to add to the effect. So when it worked for the late great experimental film artists, it'll work for you. Nothing has to be perfect, right? And no, these cartridges are not at the end for single 8. If they were, there would be a missing notch in the perforation right here, okay? And some of my video that I've shown before. All right, so I take these out of the cameras, especially if you're in a hot environment or when it's really hot. And I always place these in these bags, okay, just like so, individually. Take the air out, spin it around, wrap it up, tie it up. This is when they're not being used. You know, it's taking a long time to make a movie. A lot of movies take a long time to be made. You're saving money in all different types of ways. Alright. So here I am doing this. Spinning these around, and once I am finished, this film, as well as any other unused film and used film that I have, go right back into the refrigerator. And that is properly how movie film and still film is stored in a refrigerator. It keeps it a long life. As much as I love my Fuchsia ZC1000 and the Z800, I must stress, and cannot stress enough, that you need a backup camera. My choice is the P105. You need this tiny little camera, something like this, and I'll show you why. You can carry this little thing pretty much on your person, and it's light. Whatever you choose, if it's Super 8, whatever format you're using, make sure you got a backup camera. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to make a Gore effect using a banana. That's right, instead of using costly, mortician's wax and things like that. So if you're a film student or you want to make a Gore effect on the cheap, this is the way to do it. And you're going to be pretty impressed of how it looks. So let's go. Okay, here are the items you need. You need a fork, banana, red food coloring, of course, a paintbrush, and a pair of scissors, possibly. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to slide these items away. Alright. And yeah, you need a plate. I'm going to peel the banana here. You don't need much of it, generally. You're going to do a small Gore effect, like a cut, you're not going to need very much. So we're going to take about this much out of the banana right there. And the biggest thing is just mashing the banana up. That is the most tedious part. Okay? So once you get it mashed up, we'll go to the next level. Next, of course, is pouring in some of the red food coloring here. So just pour some of that in. And get as much as you need. That's pretty good. Let's make it a bit more thick. Alright. Get that out of the way. And, yep, you know what to do. Mix that up really well. Okay, next you're going to need a paintbrush, and it needs to be firm. That's good. It doesn't need to be this long, in particularly. And if you find it's going to be cumbersome to use one this long, what I generally do is I take it and the scissors and I cut the tip of it off. That tends to work for me. All right. Now, on any place of your person or that of your talent, okay, for your movie, or you could also use this for Halloween, of course. All right, so what you want to do is scoop this stuff up and just make a line of it as best you can. No Picasso, nothing's perfect here. This mixture is really good for like a chainsaw effect. Burns. Stuff like that. It works out really well. And the price, well, it doesn't cost you that much at all. What you can do is keep it as flat as you can. Go through here and you can mold it. And you can put a hair dryer to it and let it dry, and it's going to get sticky because it's a banana. Alright, just add some more to it and you're going to be good. Brush keeps falling off. Anyway, you're going to make moving flesh. You know, you can let it drip, that type of a thing. Let me see if I can give an example of moving flesh. That's always good. There you go. Moving flesh. Alright. So there you go. And that is a special effects on the cheap right there. Put a lot more of this on here, and I mean a lot. That's why I put that much of the banana, which is quite a bit. Put a hair dryer to this and let it dry. Okay. Put it in a line. It's just gonna get sticky, and then you can put any type of weapon in here, you know, your crafted weapon that you want, and stick it in there, and it's gonna hold. Any type of small weapon in there. Okay, so there you are, film students. I'm using my Fujica ZC1000 and Z800, which are my favorites. You will have yours, of course, working on my experimental horror film, but there, I want to give you that DIY special effect, gore effect you can use. You can also use that to create something for Halloween as well. Remember to use a hair dryer to make it sticky and a little bit firm, okay? And you can be creative from there. All right, remember the adjustments on the cameras, that type of a thing, and there you go. And remember, everyone, for more videos like this, do subscribe. Until next time, later.